Natural diet versus kibble. The truth science won't let us ignore. Every single day, over 500 million dogs around the world eat from a bowl. Most of them eat the same thing, day after day, year after year. A small brown pellet that comes from a bag. And for decades we were told that was fine, that it was even optimal, that science had figured it all out, packed it into those little pieces, and our dogs were thriving. But something has been changing in the last 10 years. New research has started asking harder questions. Pet owners have started reading ingredient labels. Veterinarians who once dismissed natural feeding are now reconsidering. And the data coming out of universities and research labs is painting a picture that is more complicated and more interesting than the pet food industry ever wanted us to see. This video is not going to tell you kibble is poison.
There's a lot of strong opinions out there. But let's be honest about what we're really discussing here.
The decision is yours. The science can only help you make it.
It is also not going to tell you natural feeding is perfect. What it is going to do is give you the actual science, the studies, the data, the real findings, so that you can make the most informed decision possible for the specific dog living in your home. Because here is the thing nobody in this debate wants to admit out loud. The right answer depends entirely on your dog. What kibble actually is. Let's start with something most dog owners have never actually thought about. When you open a bag of kibble and pour it into your dog's bowl, what exactly are you pouring? The answer is more complicated than the cheerful Labrador on the packaging suggests. Most commercial dry dog food is made through a process called extrusion. Raw ingredients, which can include meat meals, grains, fats, vegetables, vitamins, and minerals, are mixed into a dough, then forced through a machine at temperatures ranging from 80 to 200 degrees Celsius for anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes. The dough is pushed through a small opening, cut into the familiar pellet shapes, and then dried again at temperatures that can reach 150 degrees Celsius to remove moisture.
Gentlemen, we already have the infrastructure. Why not redirect that capacity to a new, convenient, and shelf-stable product for man's best friend?
Brilliant! I'm sold!
After that, fats and palatability enhancers are sprayed onto the surface to make the final product smell and taste appealing to your dog. The result is a product with roughly 8 to 12% moisture content. For context, fresh meat contains up to 70% moisture. The natural diet of a wolf or wild canine, the ancestral template for your dog, is wet, protein-dense, and highly variable. This matters because kibble was not invented by veterinarians studying optimal canine nutrition. It was invented in the 1950s by food manufacturing companies, many with backgrounds in cereal production, who recognized a market opportunity in post-war America. The goal was convenience, low cost, and shelf stability. A product that could sit in a warehouse for months without spoiling. Those are industrial goals, not nutritional ones. Now, it would be unfair to paint all kibble with the same brush. The market has evolved considerably. Premium brands today use higher quality ingredients, better processing methods, and more rigorous nutritional testing. But the fundamental process, high heat, extrusion, dehydration, has not changed. And here is where the science gets interesting. Research has found that freeze-dried processing maintains over 90% of a food's nutritional integrity compared to traditional extrusion kibble, which degrades essential vitamins and enzymes through high heat processing. In other words, the cooking process that makes kibble shelf-stable is the same process that compromises its nutritional value, and manufacturers then add synthetic vitamins and minerals back in to meet regulatory minimums. The question science is now starting to ask is whether those synthetic replacements are doing the same job as naturally occurring nutrients in whole food. We will come back to that. But first, let's look at the other side of this debate.
Category is not the guarantee. The design is. Look at this incredible ecosystem.
What
The
natural
gut
diet
microbiome
actually
a
is.
bridge, connecting everything we eat directly to
And the
our
term
health
natural
outcomes.
diet means different things to different people. And this is where a lot of the confusion in this debate begins. When someone says their dog eats a natural diet, they might mean one of several very different things. There is raw feeding, sometimes called BARF, which stands for biologically appropriate raw food. This typically includes raw meat, raw bones, organs, and vegetables in ratios that attempt to mimic what a dog might eat in the wild. There is the prey model diet, which is even closer to wild feeding. Whole prey, organs, and bone without plant matter. There is home-cooked feeding, which means gently cooking real food ingredients at home. This preserves more nutrients than industrial high-heat processing, but is more accessible for most owners than fully raw feeding. And there is partial natural feeding, which means adding whole food toppers, fresh ingredients, or minimally processed components to a base of commercial food. It is important to say this clearly. Not all natural diets are created equal. A poorly formulated raw diet can be just as harmful as low-quality kibble, or worse. Without proper nutritional balance, home-prepared diets can result in dangerous deficiencies in calcium, phosphorus, zinc, and essential fatty acids. The research is clear on this. The best natural diet is a well-designed one. A random collection of ingredients off the kitchen counter is not a balanced diet. But when a natural diet is properly formulated, either with guidance from a veterinary nutritionist or through a quality commercial fresh food brand, the science supporting its benefits over standard extruded kibble is growing substantially, and it is growing fast. The key driver of this shift is something that has transformed human medicine as well: our understanding of the gut microbiome. In the last decade, scientists have learned that the community of bacteria living in the digestive tract, the microbiome, is not just responsible for digestion. It regulates immune function, influences inflammation levels, affects brain chemistry, and plays a significant role in disease prevention.
As you can see, chronic kidney disease is a leading cause of death in older dogs. We've noticed an association between...
And what your dog eats has a direct and measurable impact on the composition of that microbiome. This is where the kibble versus natural diet debate stopped being a lifestyle preference and became a scientific question.
Look at the difference.
The science,
2.5
head to
extra
head.
years of shared life, running and playing together.
Let's look at what the research actually shows. We are going to go through 5 key areas where the science has produced meaningful findings. Gut health, inflammation, hydration, longevity, and cancer risk. No. 1. Gut health and the microbiome. A 2024 study published in Frontiers in Veterinary Science compared dogs fed a traditional kibble diet to dogs fed a raw meat-based diet over 28 days. Researchers analyzed fecal microbiota composition, serum metabolomics, and inflammatory markers. The fecal microbiota composition differed significantly between the two groups.
122 times more AGEs than the Western diet. Like pouring honey into a grandfather clock.
And when we look closely, we can see the same patterns emerging in our dogs. The connection between processed food and these health risks is clear.
Dogs on raw diets showed a more diverse and complex bacterial community in their gut, a profile that researchers associate with better immune regulation and lower inflammation. Separately, research published in Nature examined the role of diet in the development of chronic enteropathy, a gastrointestinal disorder similar to human inflammatory bowel disease. The study found that puppies who ate non-processed and minimally processed food were much more likely to avoid bowel disorders. An exclusively ultra-processed diet consisting of kibble was identified as a major risk factor for chronic enteropathy. Number 2. Inflammation markers. This is one of the most significant areas of recent research. A study published in the Royal Society Open Science Journal found that dogs eating dry food had significantly higher GlycA levels than dogs consuming other diet types. Higher GlycA levels are linked to inflammatory diseases, cancer, and heart disease.
When proteins and sugars combine under high heat, they form advanced glycation.
These findings closely mirror human research on ultra-processed food consumption.
Especially dangerous
To understand
for
why
puppies
this
and
matters,
pregnant dogs.
consider what we know about inflammation in humans. Chronic low-grade inflammation is now understood to be the underlying driver of most major degenerative diseases: heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, and cancer. The same biological mechanisms operate in dogs.
Then Seortivriction, eat idle. The AAFCO seal ensures minimum nutritional requirements and mandates testing. This
A diet that consistently elevates inflammation markers, even subtly, is a diet that is placing a long-term biological burden on the animal. No 3. Hydration. This one surprises most dog owners. Research comparing fresh food diets to dry kibble found that dogs fed fresh food consumed significantly more total water daily. 522 grams compared to 434 grams for kibble-fed dogs. Interestingly, the fresh food dogs drank less from their water bowls, meaning they were meeting most of their hydration needs through the moisture naturally present in their food. Dogs eating fresh food exceeded their daily water requirement by 40% on average. Chronic mild dehydration is not a dramatic health crisis you can see, but over years it places sustained stress on the kidneys and urinary system, organs that are already among the most commonly affected in aging dogs.
The same feeding recommendation cannot work for all 5. Annual blood panel tells you things no diet philosophy can predict. And so, the complete framework
Number 4.
summary.
Longevity.
Remember these 5 key principles.
Studies have shown that
Quality
dogs fed
ingredients,
fresh
the
diets can live up to
processing
2.5 years longer than those on commercial diets. A Belgian study using data from more than 500 domestic dogs over 5 consecutive years found a statistically significant difference in lifespan between dogs fed homemade diets of high-quality whole food ingredients and dogs fed an exclusively industrial diet. Now, it is important to note that longevity research is difficult. Many variables affect lifespan. Genetics, exercise, veterinary care, environment. No single study can isolate diet as the sole factor, but the pattern across multiple independent studies is consistent enough that researchers are taking it seriously. No 5. Cancer risk. This is the area where the data is most striking and most debated. Research has found that dogs need just 20% fresh food in their diet to see a 70 to 90% reduction in cancer cell growth. Scottish Terriers, a breed with a documented higher risk of bladder cancer, that ate fresh vegetables 3 times weekly, showed substantially lower rates of urinary bladder carcinoma. Some researchers have pointed to a concerning finding. Pet foods contain AGS, which stands for Advanced Glycation End Products. These are harmful compounds formed during high heat cooking. On a metabolic body weight basis, the levels found in commercial extruded dog food are 122 times higher than those found in adult humans eating a Western diet. AGSs accelerate tissue aging, promote inflammation, and have been linked to cancer and degenerative disease in both human and animal research. At this point, you might be thinking, why is anyone still feeding kibble? That is a fair question, and the answer requires us to look honestly at the other side of the ledger. The real risks of both sides. Science is not a prosecutor. Its job is not to convict one side. Its job is to present evidence, all of it. And when we look at natural diets honestly, there are real risks that advocates of raw and home-cooked feeding sometimes minimize. The risks of natural feeding. The most significant risk is nutritional imbalance. A study reviewing home-prepared dog diets found that the vast majority were deficient in at least one essential nutrient. Some analyses suggest this figure exceeds 90%. Calcium and phosphorus imbalances are particularly dangerous and can cause serious bone and developmental problems, especially in growing puppies. Raw diets also carry a documented risk of bacterial contamination. Salmonella, E. coli, and Listeria have all been found in commercially prepared raw dog food products. For most healthy adult dogs, this risk is manageable. For immunocompromised dogs, elderly dogs, puppies, or households with vulnerable humans, young children, pregnant women, or immunocompromised individuals, this risk requires serious consideration. Research confirms that natural diets are often nutritionally unbalanced compared to dogs' actual requirements.
He said, while this home-cooked meal looks perfect, the analysis shows it's missing crucial trace minerals.
The components are frequently present in proportions that do not meet recommended guidelines, particularly for trace minerals and vitamins that are difficult to achieve through whole food alone without careful formulation. Now, the genuine strengths of kibble. Properly formulated commercial dog food, particularly premium brands with rigorous quality control and AFSCO compliance, offers something that is genuinely difficult to achieve with home preparation.
The question now is not whether it worked. It did, but whether it was optimal.
Complete and consistent nutritional balance. Every meal, every time. No guesswork, no variation in mineral ratios, no forgotten supplements. While the processing of kibble does create some unwanted chemical compounds, complete and balanced commercial formulations account for nutrient loss during manufacturing, with synthetic vitamins and minerals added to ensure minimum nutritional requirements are met. For busy households, for owners without access to veterinary nutritionists, for dogs with specific medical conditions requiring precise dietary management, Kibble offers accessibility, affordability, and reliability that fresh food cannot always match. This is not a small thing. It is the reason Kibble has been the primary food source for hundreds of millions of dogs for 70 years, and most of those dogs lived full, healthy lives. The honest truth is this:
specific animal in your home.
A dog fed quality kibble in the right amounts, with regular veterinary care, adequate exercise, and a loving home will almost certainly live a good life. The question science is now asking is not whether kibble keeps dogs alive. The question is whether it allows them to thrive, and whether we can do measurably better.
The kidney function markers and GlycA levels are tracking in a very good direction.
Oh, that is wonderful news.
What the science actually recommends. So after all the studies, all the data, all the competing claims, what does the science actually recommend? The answer in 2025 is not a single prescription. It is a framework. Principle 1.
An unbalanced
Quality
raw
of
diet
ingredients
can lead to
matters more than
serious
category.
deficiencies, like
A premium raw
insufficient
diet
zinc.
properly
But a
formulated by a
premium
veterinary
kibble designed by
nutritionist
experts
is likely better than cheap kibble full of corn filler and rendered by products. But a poorly balanced raw diet is worse than a quality, complete, and balanced commercial food. The category, kibble versus natural, matters less than the specific quality and formulation of what is actually in the bowl. Principle 2. Ultra-processing is a real concern. But it exists on a spectrum. Not all commercial pet food undergoes the same degree of processing.
Today, read your dog's food ingredient list. This week, add 1 fresh food topper to 1 meal per day. This
Air-dried, freeze-dried, gently cooked, and cold-pressed formats retain significantly more nutritional integrity than standard extrusion kibble. Freeze-dried processing preserves over 90% of nutrients compared to traditional extrusion, which degrades vitamins and enzymes through high heat treatment. If you feed a commercial diet, the processing method used matters, and it is worth finding out. Principle 3. Fresh food toppers may offer meaningful benefit at low effort.
As we track the progress, week 1 shows increased diversity. By week 4, inflammation marker.
One of the most interesting findings in recent research is that you do not have to commit entirely to a natural diet to see benefits. Research suggests that adding even 20% fresh food to a dog's diet may be associated with a significant reduction in cancer cell growth. For many dog owners, the practical answer is not a total dietary overhaul. It is adding whole food, cooked vegetables, fresh meat, sardines, eggs, blueberries, as a regular supplement to a base commercial diet.
The dogs of history didn't have this information. Owners did their best with what they knew.
But
This approach is accessible, affordable, and backed by emerging science. Principle 4. Your dog's individual biology is the final variable.
Group A, fed
A working
fresh
farm
foods
dog
showed
in
much
excellent
lower
health
rates
is
of
not the
chronic
same
bowel
patient as an
disorders,
elderly
while
dog
Group
with kidney
B
disease.
on ultra-processed
A giant breed puppy has different calcium and phosphorus requirements than a small adult dog. A dog with a documented food allergy has needs that no generic recommendation can address.
peer-reviewed by other scientists check the work before publication. Independent, no financial conflict of interest from the fund.
The most important science in this debate is not the population-level study. It is the individual clinical picture of your specific dog, assessed by a veterinarian who knows that animal. Principle 5. The science is still being written. This is perhaps the most important point of all. Researchers are frank about the current limitations. There are not yet many well-designed studies comparing whole diets head-to-head in controlled long-term conditions. The science is emerging, not settled.
Its GlycA equivalent marker is elevated, which is an actionable finding we often see in dogs fed a Kibble exclusive diet.
What we have right now is a growing body of evidence pointing in a consistent direction. Minimally processed, whole food ingredients appear to support better gut health, lower inflammation, and potentially longer life than highly processed commercial alternatives. But we do not yet have the kind of large-scale, long-term controlled data that would allow any responsible scientist to say the verdict is
Anyone
in.
who tells you the science is settled.
Anyone who tells you the science is settled on this question, in either direction, is telling you more about their agenda than about the evidence. Here is what we know. Dogs evolved over tens of thousands of years eating whole, unprocessed food. The shift to exclusively dry, ultra-processed diets happened in the span of a single human generation, roughly 70 years. The science is now beginning to catch up with what many veterinarians and dog
Check who
owners
is
have
funding the
suspected for
research.
years.
Check who benefits from the conclusion. Then evaluate the evidence.
your dog's health is not separate from what you put in that bowl. It is made of it.
That diet quality
Start with the
matters
ingredient
deeply,
list.
that processing has
ingredient check.
costs,
Look for
and
a
that
whole
our dog's
protein
health
like
is
deboned
directly connected to
salmon.
what we put in
Top
their
5
bowls
check.
every day. The good news is that you do not need to be a nutritionist to do better for your dog. Start by reading your current dog food's ingredient list. Not
I've
the
been
marketing
reading
on the
about
front of the
diet and
bag, but the
inflammation
actual
markers.
ingredients.
Can we add a
Know what you are
GlycA or
feeding.
equivalent panel
If you
to
feed
this year's
Kibble,
blood work?
consider the
Absolutely.
processing method.
There are so many great alternatives. I recommend starting with this freeze-dried topper. It's a great way to boost nutrition without breaking the bank.
Gently cooked and freeze-dried options offer more nutritional integrity than standard extruded formulations. If budget allows, add whole food to your
Emerging
dog's diet
science
regularly.
suggests
A
even
boiled egg,
modest
some cooked
additions may
vegetables,
offer
a can of
meaningful
sardines and
benefit.
water. The emerging science suggests even modest additions of fresh food may offer meaningful benefit. And regardless of what you feed, talk to your veterinarian.
Brand utility. Your dog trusts you completely with every meal you put in front of them. The dog decoded. not entertainment, not advocacy.
An annual blood panel
Just
can
the
tell you
truth
things
that
about
the
your dog's
research
internal
gives
health
us.
that no diet philosophy can predict. Your dog trusts you completely with every meal you put in front of him. That trust is worth taking seriously.
We have so much more to explore. Click here to watch our episodes on the microbiome, processing methods, and understanding blood panels.